Here's the thing. I know, Spencer, you were introduced to this through a breakup. And I'm being very sweet because it was a very cute story because I did not know that. Um, what I what I like to do is what I've learned in this room is most men stay and they come when you change the conversation. And obviously everyone, doesn't have a partner, but how do I get men to stay in this room is I start to speak to them in very practical terms, in terms of skin health and taking care of themselves. Now, what I would say, and I can ask you guys this, I always say how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when that particular woman tells me, no, I don't, he doesn't need to come here and he doesn't need to do that, or he doesn't do that, he doesn't take care of that. And I go, how does that show up in your relationship? And I know it's kind of a bigger, broader thing, but if that man is not taking care of himself, bringing some self-care in some way, connecting to himself, taking a stop, that does show up in the relationship. Now, I'm not going to play therapist and do all of that today, but do you find any, can you relate to that basis? Can you see how Spencer take personal care of himself, how that has shown up?
Absolutely. I think I see him take amazing care of himself, and I absolutely see him take amazing care of me, of our household, of our children. So that correlation makes sense to me. That other one, I can't tell you. But yeah, I think I can definitely see that.
Okay, great. Now I'm glad to hear that because it's I don't compartmentalize self-care at all. This is just one way. There's so many different ways now. Men are going to therapists, thank God. But the most common. Oh, you've been to a therapist too. I've been in therapy for 3 years.
Every
It's,
Tuesday, second appointment.
it's fantastic. And that's just the thing. Were you doing that along? Is that something new, or is that something you've been doing?
Relatively new. I've been doing it for about a month and a half now. Yeah.
Great. And it's easy for you to kind of transition into something like that because you've already started this sort of taking care of yourself individually
Hmm.
for a long time. And this is what I try to say in this room. It's like what I'm doing here, and even just doing a treatment, is obviously I'm doing some deep diving. We're having a conversation. I give you home care. That builds a partnership. But what that more or less builds is a partnership with yourself. It's an interconnectivity. You're getting up every day. You're doing actionable steps to take care of yourself. And eventually it would lead the road and open the door for other wellness and well-being services, such as mental health, such as yoga, exercise, which is pretty common for men, you
Hmm.
know. And so that's I'm just glad to hear that you're doing that because it kind of like supports what we're doing, what I like to do more in the industry here. Um, Let me see. So my thing is meeting men where they're at. There's a couple of different type of men, and it's hard meeting guys where they're at.
Yeah.
It's hard, but the fact that they come through the door here is just it's a blessing, and I just try to navigate them as best as I possibly.